All right, welcome back to the channel. So, Jamel Herring becomes a hero to me by beating Carl Frampton, and more so by supporting Deontay Wilder, according to what I've heard, by saying that he noticed something was wrong with Tyson Fury's gloves in the second fight from Ringside. So let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. So I am very, very happy to be making this video. It is about one of my favorite people in boxing, and that is Jamel Herring, who is the WBO 130-pound champion. He won the title a couple fights ago, and he secured his title this weekend in the UK against Carl Frampton by knockout. And I got to tell you, man, I am really, really, really happy for Jamel Herring. Now, I have had a couple interactions with Jamel Herring, and let me tell you why he's one of my favorite people in boxing. Now, I know that he's a very, very good fighter. He's a tough fighter. He's a very disciplined person. I think he's one of the best in his weight division, and support him very heavily. But the reason why I think that I like him so much is more related to his personality. I've had a few interactions with him. One I remember specifically where I did a video and I had his name in the video and I represented a point, and he disagreed with how I represented the point. He thought that I took what he said and I misconstrued it. So I was like, and he said, hey, Fanon, because my name is Martin Blackwell, but people call me, call me by the channel name. So they said, Fanon, I'll come on your show and talk to you about it. And my reaction was, no, I'll just take the video down. There's no need to do any type of interview or anything like that. If I'm wrong, I'm just going to do a retraction and pull it out and just pull the video. So he was like, thank you. I was like, okay, no problem. And I've never heard, a bad word from the guy. I think he's a professional and a nice guy. And then the other thing, obviously, is that he is a Marine. I am a very, very big supporter of the military. I know that a lot of times, you have military operations that take place that you don't necessarily agree with. But, for me, the people that are actually, I separate the people that are actually out there, doing the will of their bosses. I see all those guys as soldiers, and I got respect for all of them, right? So, Jamel Herring, putting himself in a situation, because when you join the Marines, that is a brotherhood, and for certain that there's a chance, right, that you may be in harm's way, and that, it may not go well for you. So that just shows a lot of bravery to me, right? And so I just think very highly of him from those reasons. Now, after the fight, though, I received a message to me, and I saw that it was, the message that I received had the quote and it had the picture of the glove. So I'm gonna go with that for the sake of saying that the people that sent me that are reputable people, and they said their quote was that Jamel Herring, talking about the Deontay Wilder Tyson Fury fight, said that he saw Ringside. And this is a guy that is a world champion, right? So to say that, and a guy that's represented by Top Rank, the same organization that promotes Tyson Fury, again, that is a guy that said that you can see, hey man, he answered a question honestly, right? Gave his honest answer. He's not an unintelligent person. He's a Marine. There are not unintelligent Marines. So they're just not. You know what I mean? Those are bright, courageous people, right? So he understands what he's saying and the ramifications it could have with Bob Arum. And he's like, hey, man, it is what it is. This is what I think. And I think that just shows a lot of character for him. Now, I'm going to talk about that after I just review the fight real quickly. Because I didn't get the chance to see the fight live. I had some, engagements with my family that I had to take care of at the time that the fight was on. So I didn't get to see the fight. until afterwards. And hey man, he looked absolutely fantastic, looked strong, the better boxer, the better, the stronger fighter, and he got the Jackal up out of there. And he deserves the credit for that, a lot of credit for that, especially, or specifically rather, because he had to go overseas to do that. And, that's not, and to go overseas in the middle of a pandemic to do that and do that successfully says something about that man's discipline. Also, congratulations to Bomac and Terrence Crawford, because I know that Jamel fights out of that gym and is very close to those guys. So that's a very, very big win for them to keep that championship. So, all in all, man, I am extremely happy for Jamel Herring, forgive me. Jamel Herring, again, a terrific guy, a soldier, and an honest person, because, this thing with Tyson Fury, come on, man. That's the part of being a Marine that I appreciate, because of the Marines that I know, whether they be Merchant Marines or they be, U.S. Marine Corps, those guys understand brotherhood. They understand that, hey, man, you're only as good and safe as the guy that's next to you that's fighting with you, right? There is no such thing as a one-man army. An army is a large group of people that have to work in unison for a goal. And, and for some people, it's not going to turn out well. If Jamel Herring is willing to accept that in real life, the realest of real lives, a battlefield, potentially, why wouldn't he accept the same thing in a boxing ring or outside of a boxing ring in his business endeavors, which I'm sure, because he's a Marine and he's got a good amount of money in his pocket, he's going to go very, very well for himself after he gets out of the ring. I wouldn't be surprised if a guy with the intelligence of a Jamel Herring and, the intestinal fortitude doesn't wind up being a very, very big player in business or in sports and in sports business after he retires from the ring. So I really think highly of him. I wish that other professional boxers, other champions would step up and do the same thing for Deontay Wilder, because then that they would push that thing to an investigation at the very least, and Deontay Wilder would get his fight. Or, hey, man, on the other side of that is, Tyson Fury can get treated like Panama Lewis and Louis Resto, who back in the 1980s got caught doing something that was less ridiculous than what Tyson Fury did, because Panama Lewis took padding out of the glove of Louis Resto's gloves, right, where they was basically all knuckle. That's the same thing Tyson Fury did, but the problem is Tyson Fury is 6'9" and 300 and almost 300 pounds. And he coupled that with neck wrenches and all kind of other stuff going on in that fight that has no business going on in a boxing ring. So, my personal opinion, and I've said this before, is Tyson Fury deserves to be kicked out of the sport of boxing for life off of what he did and what he did also tried to do with Christian Hamer, with the glove situation with Christian Hamer and the steroid situation with Christian Hamer. Also, the contractual negotiations and the glove situation with John McDermott, and the situation that took place with the fight with Steve S.S. Cunningham, and holding his head down and hitting at the same time. So, when you couple all of that with the blatant cheating in the Deontay Wilder fight, I just have no patience for it. But at the least, he should have to fight and have a fair fight with Deontay Wilder, so Deontay Wilder has an opportunity to show and have the best opportunity to compete without Tyson Fury having his whole body on the scales of justice. So anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think, and with that, I'm out. Peace.